Alright, listen here, bucko. This ain't my usual haha funny video, right? This is serious business because Smash has been out since December and nobody wants to give us the tier list we need. Everyone's talking about characters, items, final smashes, whatever. No one's talking about Omega and Battlefield forms, alright? If you're getting good online, chances are you're limited to just these, so you want to know which one's going to make you the best. And I think I have the answer today. Just a heads up, this is a long video, so here's some timestamps. If you want to skip around to the good stuff or the average stuff, whatever. Also, there's no DLC in this list because I'd rather have a complete tier list with the base game as opposed to an incomplete tier list with the DLC. So let's get into it. Kicking off this tier list, we have the 2D tier, which is kind of disqualifying a group of maps, mostly the flat ones, because if you're using Omega forms, Battlefield forms, you're not using just Final Destination and Battlefield. You're playing these because you're just playing them online and you want some change in scenery while you're grinding out, and you don't want to risk getting hazardless maps that are just terrible to practice on. But you don't want these because they just have a general feel that's different. You're fighting on like the singular plane that you're not going to find in other maps. They look nice, like Pac-Land here, it's pretty nice. I like the mountains, it's much better than the original map. Hannibal, I mean, there's a lot you can do with Hannibal, that's pretty cool. Kind of gets a nice spot because of that alone. But other than that, you don't want to fight on them. No one wants to fight on them. Duck Hunt is like an honorary 2D map. It's not like that, it's not technically flat, but because of like the black bars on the side, I just threw it in there. Mute City moves around, kind of distracts you from it, but it's still flat. And that's the 2D tier. Alright, kicking off the D tier, we have the Mushroomy Kingdom, which is brown, boring, and barely not in the 2D tier. No matter the form, this stage sucks. After that, we have PictoChat 2, which is funny and memey, yet boring in these forms, and just a map you'd rather avoid. Mushroom Kingdom 2 has a pleasant waterfall, but the background's kind of washed out, and the platforms are the only redeeming part of this. Mushroom Kingdom 1, I appreciate the stage background on the main platforms, but this old school style doesn't really work in these forms. It's the same thing with this Mario Bros stage right here. After that, we have Coliseum, which I like fighting in front of a crowd, but not with the same tan, pale color palette. Brinstar, it's a lava map, which is cool, but has a giant ball sack. 3D Land, I like the main stage, but it's a shame you don't really cycle through the different areas like the original stage. Gerudo Valley, that same tan pale stage color palette, but I like the background. It's probably one of the better tan pale stages. After that, we have the Windy Hill Zone, which has cute animals, but Snake and hide his C4 in the grass, so it's terrible. After that, we have a better Green Hill Zone, which has the beautiful Genesis graphics, which I love in a Smash game. Wrecking Crew is next, and it gets bonus points for being in the city, but the stage itself is very uninspired. After that, we have Paper Mario, which is again another grass stage, but it has that very nice paper aesthetic, which gives it a little bonus point. Wii Fit Studio is basically a much better PictoChat 2 with the Wii Fit board platforms, and I like it as a practice stage. Prism Tower 2 is pretty good, it just has that really cluttered city background, which I don't like. Tomodachi Life is basically the exact opposite of the Prism Tower and has a lack of background, which I think works into its advantage. Mushroom Kingdom U has an excellent backdrop, and the Battlefield platforms are part of the stage, which is going to be a trend going forward in the higher tiers, but that is the D tier. Moving on to the C tier, we have Yoshi's Island Melee, one of my favorite maps of all time, but it starts on the C tier just because the platforms are kind of boring, kind of wasted opportunity. Warrior Warrior is next. Again, it's not very different. I don't think it's that creative with its use. Saffron City, you might think it's pretty low, but it's just, the background's really boring. It's so like this pale gray. Hyrule Castle, I feel like they could have done a little bit more, but I do like it. There's not many bad maps. Smashville, and of course the Echo stage, Town and City. If you were trying to get better, you'd probably just play the regular stage, but you know, they're fine. They do the job, I guess. Castle Siege, I do like Castle Siege. I like the background. The backdrop does a lot of work for this. I like the platform itself. Doesn't really look like the platform belongs in anything though. Gower Plain? It's got this grand backdrop, but it is kind of boring. Finding itself in the C tier, the stage itself. Next we have Brinstar Depths, which you're fighting on lava, which is cool, but it's like this darker lava and it kind of falls flat. Same with Frigate Orpheum, obviously there's no lava, but the overall tone of the stage, it's nice, it's not bad, it's just kind of boring. After that is Halberd, which finds its way up the C tier because of the great background it has. You just fly around the Halberd ship, and I love that a lot. And Pilot Wings is after that, which has basically the same feel. You fly around the island, which is great. The stage itself isn't that amazing, but the scenery is. Now, this is kind of where I put all the Yoshi, Kirby, kind of similar aesthetic maps together. Yoshi's Story, Dreamland, all that. They're kind of all the same. They're very average. There's not a ton of creativity with them. I mean, they get the job done for sure. They translate the feeling of the map, but they're just like all the same. Yoshi's Island is probably the best of them because it changes seasons. But other than that, it's like, yeah, I guess it's a Yoshi Island. But I put Dreamland to be the best one just because, come on, it's Dreamland. It's basically Dreamland without hazards. Summit, I like the backdrop a lot. I like the ice and the regular Battlefield platform. It's good, it's solid. I think the best part is the stage itself. Shadow Moves Island, it's got that very unique color scheme. Obviously, maybe you want to mix it up, go for that. And then a slightly better version is Midgard, which also has that kind of color scheme. I just love the background, and it's not that different from the regular stage, as you saw there. Next up, we have the living room. I like that it created its own platform using the pieces that fall in the regular map. After that is Reset Bomb Forest, which it's kind of boring, Omega, but I like the platforms, how they're actually part of the stage itself with the battlefield form. After that is the Figure 8 circuit, which I love the actual stage platform itself. I love the underside, I love the road that you're on, and you still see the people drive by. After that, we got Spirit Train, which is kind of just scrolling, but I think the backgrounds are nice enough, and the platform is unique, so it's finding itself comfy in C tier. Next is Mario Circuit. You're just moving around the Mario Circuit. Pretty self-explanatory. Skyloft, the exact same thing. You're just moving around Skyloft, and that's kind of the best part of the map, seeing the different parts of Skyloft. Port Town Aerodive continues this trend, which makes it a very solid map, but not a great map. Nice scenery, very solid, very comfy in C tier. Next, of course, is Magicant. I think that's how you say it. You're fighting in cotton candy. That's all I gotta say. It's pretty magical. Next up, we are going to the B tier. The B tier is kind of where we're gonna start to get serious. First, we have Distant Planet. It finds itself in B tier because the leaves. I love how they're incorporated with the stage itself, the background. Great use and choice for the platforms. Garden Hope is a little bit better because I really like the platforms for the Battlefield variant. The cans kind of squish in this rectangle, very cool. I like the pie itself. After we have New Donk City Hall, which has a nice view of New Donk City, but I like the platform itself. I love the gold trim, just the way it looks. I think it's very unique. Next up, we have Palutena's Temple, which has that round, deep field, kind of like Final Destination from Melee, but it kind of lacks the unique colors. It has a boring color scheme. After that is Luigi's Mansion, which I don't know what they did to the house, but I really love the moon filling up the entire background. That's it. Next is the classic Congo Jungle, which is a great map, and it's also pretty good in Omega and Battlefield form. I like the platforms, I like the trees, great stage. Next is Spear Pillar, which has one of the coolest cosmic space backdrops, I think, and I love the blinking lights on the stage itself. I love the Pokemon spawning in. It's a great map. New Pork City is one of those maps that probably could be an A tier, but I think the background is just a little too busy. I love the blinking lights. I love the color scheme. It's a great map, and it's even better in Omega and Battlefield form. After that, we have another mother stage. We have Onet, the OG. Just great stage in the middle of town. I love it, personally. Congo Falls is next, and it takes place where the original stage takes place. It just doesn't have the little rock on the side, the barrel underneath. It's a great stage, and I love the poles supporting the platforms. Wily Castle is not a good stage with hazards. It's terrible. I hate you, Yellow Devil, but it's a great Omega Battlefield stage. Fixes all the problems. After that, we have Big Blue, which is cruising along the Big Blue Sea. I love how yellow this platform is. I love the little individual platforms. It's great. Princess Peach's Castle from Melee. Just a great stage. So simple. I love the platforms, how they're the same ones from the regular stages when you hit those buttons and blocks. Next, we have Gamer from the WarioWare series, obviously. I love how they use the books for the platforms in this. Other than that, it doesn't really do too much, but it's just that little touch is enough to get into B tier. Rainbow Cruise, great map. Just like look at this backdrop. Look at how the platforms, propellers keeping the stage up. Love it. Next is Arena Ferox, which is a solid arena map. It gets kind of bogged down by the boring color scheme, but it's just a good arena map. What more could you want? Look at the crowd. Wow. Next is Norfair, which makes its way into B tier because it's like you're fighting in the heart of a volcano, and that's it. Next is one of the greatest Smash maps of all time, Corneria. It's also a very solid Omega Battlefield form. It's just a basic stage, but the scenery, when you scroll through it, is really pretty, and it's just like Venom, which is essentially its Echo stage. Just more orange. Great Bay is also a stage that's just always good. It has a great beach theme. I love the green metal, rust, algae looking stuff, but unfortunately it doesn't have any turtle platforms, and that's kind of a bummer. Dracula's Castle reuses the awesome stained glass window that's in the original map, and it kind of creates this lonely looking platform in this moonlit void, and it's great. Lilac Cruise gets the top billing in the B tier, and it deserves it because look, it created its own unique ship for this variant, and I think that's dedication. It's not even Lilac anymore. Alright, starting off, we have the Great Cave Offensive in the A tier. This map sucks, it's terrible, but Omega Form, Battlefield Form, pretty good. Look at those platforms, look how clean it is, the background, great stage. Very solid. It's really just simplicity at its finest. Next up is Jungle Japes, which deserves to be in the A tier because it still has Cranky Kong in the window. It also has a great use of color, and I like how the platform's on the house. But most importantly, it still has Cranky Kong, and no other map has Cranky Kong. A tier. Next up, we have Mario Galaxy, which typically I hate this map, but with the Omega Form, Battlefield Form, the stage itself kind of becomes a planet from the game. It has like the tree trunks underneath. It almost looks like you could just walk off the edge and go right underneath, and it deserves to be in the A tier for that creativity alone. Now we have the Unova Pokemon League, which is just a really moody map. If you want a really moody 1v1 or online grinding practice, you know, go to Unova. Get those feels, man. Look at the cool lights on the platforms, the lighting, it's great. Alright, now we got the Pokemon Stadiums. First we have Pokemon Stadium 1 from Melee, and then we have Pokemon Stadium 2 after that, the Echo fighting stage, whatever. These are solid stages. I like Pokemon Stadium 2 a little bit more, but it's great to have the screen back there that's showing the combatants. It shows like the different camera angle, you got the crowd there. And hey, maybe you want to practice on Pokemon Stadium, but it's too big and you get annoyed by that. Well, now you have these two variants. It's good. Right after this, we have a newcomer to Ultimate, the Great Plateau Tower, one of my favorite new maps. With the Omega Form and Battlefield Form, you kind of keep everything that's great about the map, which is really the Breath of the Wild backdrop and the platforms, everything. There's really no reason why you wouldn't want to fight her. Kind of following the similar philosophy is the Find Me stage. You have the great kind of backdrop. But the stage itself is so simple. I love how the light goes through those platforms on the Battlefield variant. The use of purple and orange meeting, it creates this like desperate wasteland feel, and that's perfect for Smash. Next up we have Pirate Ship in the A tier. I really like this stage a lot because it kind of takes something from Wind Waker that wasn't in the stage itself. It's kind of like those like outpost towers you find in the game. It kind of makes the platform one of those towers. It has the barrels in the background, all that. After that, we have Peach's Castle from Smash 64, and with the Omega Form Battlefield forms, it kind of just looks like a bonus level that was ripped from Super Mario 64. It's in this void, it keeps that clean aesthetic, it has the beautiful painting in the background. Very simple map, and sometimes that's all you need. Fourside is the definitive Smash Bros. Nighttime City fighting stage, which you might think is a very niche, small category, but trust me, you need one in a fighting game. The multiple sources of artificial lighting alone bring it into the A tier because it's a very unique thing. Depending on who you are, this map could be in your D tier. For me, it's in the A tier because I just do not care about the frame drops because I don't notice them. I'm also not a pro player, obviously. I'm doing a tier list for these stages. But this map doesn't lose anything. Fountain of Dreams is just the way it should be, even in the Omega Form Battlefield forms. Next up, we have Tortimer Island, which is pretty unique as far as Omega and Battlefield forms go, because the stage itself has depth to it, and it still has the hut that's regularly in the stage. It also has some of the best looking water in the entire Smash game, and beautiful colors, so that's a plus. After we have Moray Towers, where typically I don't like the stage. It's not that good. But with Omega Form's Battlefield forms, you really get to focus on the best city background in the entire game, and also the cats in the middle keep score with the little flags because we're tied right now, so they both up. Speaking of maps that typically suck, we have Skyworld, which is a very beautiful, serene place to do your 1v1s and get good. Has the water fixture going through the middle towards the bottom, has the symbols on the side. It's what an Omega Form and Battlefield form should be. And that's gonna do it for the A tier. That leaves us with one more tier. That is the S tier. Headlining the S tier, we have Woohoo Island, which I know it's trying to get legalized, but in Omega form, Battlefield forms, it is one of the best. It's like the perfect kind of sparring map. You want to knock your opponents off into the water, off this platform. You have like the Mii crowd there. You got the Wii U flags if you're a Smash 4 veteran. And I'm not even mentioning the fake Golden Gate Bridge in the background. Next up, we have Umbra Clock Tower, which I never played Bayonetta, but I do love how this is, it's not just like the shape of an Omega or Battlefield form stage, it's kind of like different. It's just like that part of the clock tower and it's turned, but if you look at the outline, it's just a regular stage. It kind of gives it that illusion of being a unique platform, but it's not. I love it for that. Now with Temple, honestly I don't have a lot to say about Temple. I've just always liked the look of it and the general aesthetic of the map, and with the Omega form and Battlefield forms, you have like fragments of the original stage kind of broken up and floating in the sky. And that kind of builds off the mystical, ancient feeling they were going with the stage originally. Next in the S tier, we have the Kalos Pokemon League, and in the Omega and Battlefield forms have nothing to do with Pokemon, but it's in this beautiful moonlit cathedral. There's lots of cool blue colors. You're fighting on this circular mosaic tile platform. It's got these green lights moving around the edges of it. It's a gorgeous map to fight in. After that, we have a sleeper pick, the Suzaku Castle from Street Fighter. And this map in particular has three things I love about it in the Omega Battlefield forms. It has the pagoda in the background, that's awesome. It has these warm orange colors from the sunset, and it has these two signposts on the side of the stage that you can kind of break while you're fighting. It doesn't really affect the gameplay, but it's a nice, unique touch that was added. For the runner-up in the S tier, we have the Boxing Ring map, which has always been a solid map, no matter the form, hazardless or not. But it's especially good with the Omega Battlefield form. It has like that unique Smash Bros. Branding on the side. It has the best crowd in the game. The fire, the screen that has the special nicknames for the combatants. It's just the ultimate duel map. Now to top off this tier list, it's no surprise. It's the OG Final Destination. Arguably, this is the best Final Destination we've ever gotten. Maybe you can say Melee is better. That's kind of up to you. But this especially took the top spot because it's a great Omega form, but the Battlefield form is amazing. In particular, the platforms on it really work with the stage aesthetic, and it's incredible. Is this a cop-out for the last pick? I'm gonna go with no. This map was perfectly designed to be a Battlefield and Omega form. It's a basic stage, but the background is dynamic. It's always moving. The platform design is great and unique. It's the ultimate let's duke it out stage, and I think it's time we start playing the Battlefield form of this map. And that's why it takes the top spot as the best Omega Battlefield form in the S tier. Or so you thought. And that's right, number one, Super Mario Sunshine in the S Sunshine tier, Delfino Plaza. Oh my god, look at the stage, look how beautiful it is, the colors, the music, god, Nintendo in HD, this game, bring it back, look at that, you got the dolphin in the middle, oh my goodness, who wouldn't want to play this game on the go on their Switch? Nintendo, make it a reality, it will print money, it will print